Hello everyone, welcome to Rachel Pichler Yoga. Just in case we haven't met before, my name is Rachel. Today we're doing a nice full body flow, so find a little bit of space to move and let's get started. So we will begin today seated, but I want you to be able to bring your fingertips to the ground in front of you. So depending on how you need to be seated for that, you can spread your fingers wide, turn your palms to face forwards, and then try to bring your fingertips to the ground to feel the nice stretch through the fingers. You can send your thumbs out wide. Maybe you can feel this all the way through your palms into your forearms. You could add a little bit of a pulse, kind of forwards and back. Maybe you don't need to add that in. But just take a moment. How do your hands feel? How intense can the fingers stretch be? And then just slowly let it go. Lift your hands up. Maybe give your fingers, your hands, your wrists, everything a little bit of a shake, a little bit of a wiggle. We are going to make our way into tabletop though, onto our hands and knees. Maybe you're already on your knees. But with our fingers starting facing forwards, we might add a sway of the shoulders forwards and back. We might take one hand and turn the fingers to point towards the knee. One hand pointing back, one hand pointing forwards maybe, so that we can continue to sway or rock forwards and back. Feeling the forearm more, the wrist more, so just be gentle. Small movement is perfect. And then we'll switch sides. If you did turn one hand back, turn it forwards. Maybe one hand, fingers pointing to the knee, the other one forwards. And if you want to add a little bit of a sway forwards and back, it's a lot more intense when the fingers are pointing towards the knee. And then just coming on back. Take your hand that might be flipped around, face forwards again. If you want to lift off of your hands for a moment, maybe make some fists and some nice wrist circles. A couple circles in one direction, a couple circles in the other direction. And then we'll be bringing our hands back down to the ground and lifting up into downward dog just for a moment. We won't be on our hands long. Push into your hands though. Lift the hips high and then use an inhale to look forwards. As you exhale, walk your feet to the top of your mat. Once you get there, inhale for a half lift. Lift your hands off of the ground. Lengthen your spine. As you exhale, fold forwards, bend your knees. Maybe your hands can stay floating. As you inhale, start to come all the way up to standing and reach your arms up. Exhale as you lower your arms to your sides and maybe take a nice shoulder roll. Spread the fingers out wide and a big inhale to reach up. As you exhale, fold forwards. Inhaling into a half lift. Exhale, folding back down, maybe not touching the ground with the hands. Inhale, all the way up to standing, reach up. Exhale, lower your arms down, shoulder roll if you want one. Inhale to reach up again. Exhale as you fold forwards. Take an inhale to lift halfway up and exhale to fold down again. Maybe not touching the ground with the hands. Inhale all the way up to standing. Reach on up and exhale. Lower your arms to your sides. Shoulder roll. One more time. Reach on up. Exhale. Let's fold forwards. Take an inhale for a half lift. And this time as we exhale, we're going to fold and plant our hands. And our feet are going to come back into downward facing dog. Just take a moment here, push into the hands, send your hips nice and high. Stay for an inhale and then let the exhale bring your knees down to your tabletop. Maybe give your hips a little bit of a sway side to side. And then maybe start to sway the shoulders, kind of forwards and back, pressing your palms into the ground. We're going to be extending our right leg back behind us. Tuck the toes, push into the ball of the foot. So we can stay here, fingers pointing forwards. We could take the left hand and maybe turn the fingers to point to the knee again. You could add a gentle sway forwards and back, but maybe you don't need to move at all here. Just find your balance. Push into your hands, that right foot, that left knee. If you have your left fingers pointing to the knee, you might start to lift that hand. Maybe the palm can face up, maybe the fingers still pointing towards the knee, a little counter stretch. And then bring that left hand back down, fingers pointing forwards. Bring your right knee in, send your left leg back. So left leg back behind with the option to turn the right hand, fingers pointing towards the knee. Maybe a little bit of movement, maybe not. Feel the forearm and the wrist. And then maybe lifting that right hand, palm facing up, fingers pointing to the knee, little counter stretch. And then bringing that hand back, fingers pointing forwards and sliding the left knee in as well. Maybe take a little sway throughout the hips. If you want to lift up off the hands again, make some fists. Take your wrist circles, a couple in each direction. And then bringing our hands back down. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, your downward facing dog. Push into the hands. Take an inhale to look forwards and exhale. Walk your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale for a half lift. Lift your hands off the ground. Lengthen your spine. Exhale to fold forwards. Inhale all the way up to standing, reaching up. Exhale, let your arms fall down to your sides. Let's stay standing, maybe sneak a shoulder roll in. But we're going to step our feet about mat width apart. Maybe our toes can point forwards. We can bring our hands to our hips to start, lengthening through the spine. Now we're going to be tipping forwards here. You might bend your knees or keep the legs straight. Your hands might stay on your hips, or you might bring your right hand kind of to the outside of the left leg. You might bring your left arm, crossing it in front of the right one, and doing the same thing, trying to hold kind of the outer edge of the leg. Crossing the arms, you can walk your hands, slide your hands down towards the ankles as much as you'd like. Maybe taking a peek between the knees. Folding forwards, maybe feeling the arms and the shoulders. If you have your arms crossed right now, we might let go of our legs. Maybe we can bend our knees enough so we can touch the ground with our hands. Maybe we can let our palms face up, fingers pointing towards the back of the mat. Maybe one hand, maybe both. Maybe we can lengthen the legs as well. while continuing to touch the ground, maybe with the palms facing up. Now start to bend your knees more. Lift your hands off the ground, maybe they come to the hips, and then use an inhale to come all the way up to standing. You can shake out the hands a little if you'd like, maybe take a shoulder roll. We have to do that one more time so we can cross our arms the other way. Lengthen the spine, start to tip forwards. If you're not crossing your arms, do what you want with them. Lean forwards, left arm, maybe your hand is reaching for that right leg, the outer leg. Maybe the right arm's crossing over top this time, trying to reach for the outer left leg. Crossing your arms, you can hold your legs anywhere. Maybe a little lower to the ankles, maybe not. Leaning forwards and maybe letting your gaze kind of go between the legs. Now, if you want to let go of your legs again and bend your knees to maybe plant the hands, it's just optional to try to get the palms to face up, but maybe it feels nice on the wrists. Maybe the legs are able to lengthen too. Maybe even lift your chest a little bit to lengthen through the spine, maybe taking the bend out of the elbows. And then just soften your knees, bring your hands back to your hips. Use an inhale to come all the way back up to standing. You can bring your feet closer together. You can roll your shoulders back and down. And then with a big inhale, reach up. Exhale to fold forwards. Inhale into a half lift. As you exhale, fold back down, planting your hands, step back and into downward facing dog for just a nice big inhale. As you exhale, let's lower our knees down into tabletop. Maybe take a little sway side to side. Then you can cross your ankles and sit down. Bring your legs out in front. Give your knees a hug or a squeeze. And we're just going to send our left leg out long. Our right foot can cross over top. Hold your knee, lengthen your spine, point your left toes up too. And then you can start to turn your chest to the right side for a twist. Give your knee a hug towards your chest. Maybe taking a peek behind you. Letting an inhale, bring your chest forwards again. You can keep going for a counter twist. And then use an inhale to face forwards again. Send your right leg out, left leg. Foot can cross over top. Hold your knee, point your toes up. Lengthen your spine. Just a few things to think about. Start to turn your chest to the left. Give your knee a hug. Letting an inhale bring you forwards again. You can keep going for your counter twist. And then letting another inhale bring you forwards again. You can uncross your legs. Give your knees another hug. We will be laying down on our backs next. So find your way down onto your back. Maybe you'll bring your knees to your chest. Add a sway side to side. Feel your back against the ground. Your feet are lifted. You can bring them down again. Maybe bring the feet wide, knees wide. You can let your knees start to tip over towards the left side. Let them hover above the ground. Keep the shoulders down. Maybe your left foot will rest on top of the right leg. You have your foot on your leg. Bring it back to the edge of your mat. Slowly lift your knees up again. Maybe tip them to the other side when you're ready. The option to rest the right foot on the left leg this time. Bringing your right foot down again. If you lifted it up, let your knees come back up to maybe a sway side to side with the knees. You can scooch the feet back in a little closer together if you'd like. Maybe even give the knees a hug towards the chest again. And just when you're ready, finding your Shavasana. Whatever that is going to look like for you today. Send your legs out long, maybe your feet out wide. Find a comfy place to spend a few moments. As always, staying here for as long as you have time for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy your day. And until next time, namaste.